We'll be looking at fire safety and preparedness for the dry season. And of course, we'll be having expert advice from the Federal Fire Services. Let me just let you know that the dry season will be starting in earnest, and fire risks increase due to drier weather and environmental conditions. Now, today we'll be joined by Chief Superintendent Ikenna Obasi, who will share essential fire safety insights and practical steps to reduce fire hazards. Now, this discussion will be valued for homeowners, business owners, and community leaders looking to safeguard their properties and communities during this high-risk season. Thank you so much, Mr. Ikenna Obasi, for finding time to be on the program. Just to let you know that Mr. Ikenna Obasi is a Chief Superintendent of Fire and second in command at the Federal Fire Service and Edo State Command, with over 10 years of experience in fire safety and emergency response. Now, he holds certifications in health, safety, and environmental from the National Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria, and is trained in NEBOS and ISO 450, is it 451 now? You help us standard. You help us make clarification there. Thank you so much, Mr. Ikenna, for being on the program once more.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start by explaining why the dry season is particularly risky, Mr. Ikenna.
Like in the dry season, there's usually low humidity level, and the temperature is a lot warmer during that time. So any small spark could lead to a rapid spread of fire. Fire needs material to burn, and you need a dry surface. So usually in the dry season, there's a lot of dry particles, a lot of vegetation that are dry, leaves that should be clean are already dry and ready to burn. So that's why in the dry season, there's usually a high risk of fire and a high spread of fire during the dry season.
Most common causes of fire during the dry season. What are the most common causes of a fire outbreak during dry season?
During the dry season, like outdoor, most people would like to harvest during the dry season. Some people like to hunt during the dry season. And as I said, there's a low humidity level, and there's a lot of dry material ready to burn. So some people would like to set those things on fire and leave it unattended. And for those who would like to hunt, maybe like bushmeat, like to do bushmeat, they'll set it on fire and leave it unattended. That's on the outdoor level. Then people who do banga, fireworks, and all that, they don't usually take precautions, like having maybe knowing what to do, either if I have a fire extinguisher on standby. Then indoor, some people, because of maybe they're trying to manage money and trying to save resources, they'll have a faulty iron, faulty burner, faulty electrical equipment, and they don't change them. They leave it like that. So these are some of the causes that we have. Then those who use cigarettes and they don't take it off properly, they don't spray it carelessly around. So these are some of the activities that usually result in fire during the dry season. They usually causes fire during the dry season. But we believe with this
Okay, from what you have said so far now, what immediate actions should be taken by individuals to make their homes and workplace safer for potential fire hazards?
Okay. For outdoor season, for outdoor fire outbreaks, if those are into farming, to ensure that they clear their environment, and if they are burning it, they should make sure the fire is off completely before they leave that place, because you might extinguish the fire.
All right, let's go back now, Mr. Ikenna. Let's go back to the immediate actions. What immediate actions should the individual take to make their homes and workplace safer from potential fire hazards? We didn't get that clearly before that break went.
Okay. For outdoor purpose, if you have bushes, overgrown bushes around your premises, I will advise that you clear them because when those bushes are dry and maybe there's a fire spread around or there's an ignition, it will start affecting your fence, it will start affecting your building. And if you're not around to attend to it, your building will be gone before you get back from work. So make sure that those bushes are cleared. And if you are burning your farm or your harvest or open flame fire, make sure you extinguish it before you leave that place. Because it is not advisable for you to leave it and say the fire will go up by itself. It may not go up by itself. It may spread to another place. And for indoor purpose, I advise people to have smoke detectors indoor, have a working fire extinguisher, and they should have a fire blanket and know how to use those equipment. It's not enough to just have those equipment and have bought them. Make sure they are properly installed, make sure they are regularly maintained and tested. And for families, have a fire drill, know what to do. A fire drill is something that makes you know what to do in case of any emergency, in case of any fire emergency. So those are the immediate action that individuals and businesses need to have in place or take.
All right, away from the actions individuals should take, could you explain the role of vegetation and landscaping in fire prevention?
Okay, thank you very much. You know, just like I said about the outdoor, about the fences, I mean about the overgrown plants or bushes, make sure they are well trimmed. That's where the landscaping comes in. It looks like a fancy word, but it could save you a lot. And if you're using uh, flowers or flowers that climb on your building, ensure that they are well taken care of. Keep them green. Don't leave them dry. Because that is where the fire could start. So landscaping helps you to organize your environment, to keep your plants well arranged and structured, and avoid using avoid using flammable materials. Make use of gravel or stone in your landscaping. It also helps. It also beautifies, and is a fire it's fire wise to make use of those items. So avoid open flames. Avoid anything that would keep your vegetation clean. Avoid non-flammable materials. Reduce the amount of fuel around your building. Those things that have potential to ignite as, as a without any provocation. They just ignite once. So this is where landscaping helps. They help you plan your environment.
All right, let's move on now. What is the importance of community awareness and preparedness during the dry season?
Okay. In community awareness and preparedness, it's a way of enlightening people on what they should do, what fire is. We let them know what we call a fire triangle. We let them know the things, how to look out for, what to look out for in extinguishing a fire. And it also let them know what to do in case there's a fire and how to evacuate your building in case there's a fire. And how to assemble at the muster point and how to take account of people who are there. So this is what community awareness actually allows us to do. So
Let's quickly highlight.
To enlighten them, to educate them.
Okay. I would like us to manage our time, Mr. Obasi. Now, can you highlight some specific precautions people should take with electrical appliances and open flames? There are people who don't really turn off their electrical appliances when they're traveling. Some will tell you they have some stuff inside their refrigerator and they wouldn't want it to get spoiled. Some would tell you they just want the place to be lighted up while they're away. So just highlight some of these specific precautions people should take with electrical appliances and open flames.
Okay, with the electrical appliance, I can understand in the case of refrigerator because you may have things you need to take, you need to be blocked or chilled or to preserve. But you have to make sure you have a good electrical setup. it may not look like it's related to fire, but a good electrical setup is one of the first steps you should take. So in case of any surge, your distribution box will trip off and prevent it. And there's something that people don't know, but I would like to use this platform to enlighten us. When you are going out, please don't leave your windows open and keep your doors shut. The reason being that fire requires oxygen to burn. And when, if peradventure there is any ignition with electrical appliances, the after the fire must have used all the oxygen in the room to burn, and there is no more space. The windows are shut, no air is coming in. The doors are shut, no air is coming in. The fire will go up by itself. So in the long run, you have saved your equipment. Then if you are making use of stove or all those electric burners, please, when you are leaving, disconnect them from the socket. Don't, it's not enough to take off the switch. Disconnect them from the socket. And if you are going out and you want to turn off your appliances, it's not enough to take it off from the switch. Disconnect it from the socket. It's actually advisable to do that. And for outdoor stuff, I will say it again and again. You make sure the fire is off. If possible, pour it as many buckets of water that you need to pour on it to be sure that the fire is off and it will not ignite in your absence.
Fire outbreak, what fire safety equipment should be a priority in households and small businesses, especially during the season?
Well, the fire equipment that every home or business should have is your fire extinguisher, your smoke detectors, and your fire blanket. These three items are essential. You can also have a first aid kit, which you will keep where people can touch. But the three most important is the fire extinguisher, the smoke detector, and the fire blanket. If you can have a sprinkler system in your business, it's very, very advisable to have that. So this three items I listed earlier are the fundamental. We call them first aid firefighting equipment. Your smoke detector, your fire extinguisher, and your fire blanket.
Okay, as we begin to call it a wrap now, let's go to, in terms of emergency response. In terms of emergency response, what steps should people follow if they detect a fire nearby or on their property? What emergency response should they take? Mr. Obasi, did you get that question? Can you hear us?
I didn't get that part.
Okay,
No,
in
please come
terms
again.
of
I didn't get that.
emergency response, if you can hear us, in terms of emergency response, what steps should people follow if they detect a fire nearby or on their property?
First step to follow if you discover a fire nearby. Please, do not bring out your phone and start recording. Follow it to call the fire service, to call the emergency number. Call them. If you can operate the fire, if the fire is still small and you can handle it, make use of the fire extinguisher. But when fire is small, it's easier to attend to, it's easier to extinguish. So then if you cannot attend to the fire, assist whosoever you can assist to evacuate the scene, evacuate the place, get to a muster point, and then call the fire people. And if there's anyone trapped in the building, do not run back to go and help the person. If you are not trained to do so, or if you cannot do so, wait on the fire service. We will do that for you.
We're talking about waiting for fire service officers to arrive. There are cases where they will be called upon and they don't respond in time. Most times, when the fire has been taken off, that is where they arrive. But finally, let's begin to call it a wrap. Just help us. How do fire service teams prepare for increased demand and potential emergencies during this dry season? How are they preparing?
We're actually doing this community service, and this is actually part of the main through which we're trying to enlighten people. And as you mentioned, people say they call us or it's after the fire that I will give you an example. I was at the scene. I was driving and I saw a fire, and a car on fire. And I called the people. I called the fire service, my the nearest station to come. So by the time the fire service came, people were like, and there is none they're coming. And I asked one of them, who called the fire service here? Nobody. Who had the number of the fire service here? Nobody. We need to, we're trying to get people acquainted to know who we are, what we do, and the numbers call. We are just a phone call away. If you call, at the time when you call us, is the time when we call out the fire. But if you call us like maybe 30 minutes after the fire has actually started, then you know the time to take us to get there. So, but we're working on enlightenment, and since the dry season is coming up, that is why we're trying to let people know we're working on community development, community enlightenment. Even some organizations like the Central Bank is also enlightening their staff on fire drills. But by doing that for their staff, by extension, they are doing it for the homes of people and the neighbors and the community as well.
Okay, Mr. Obasi, this is going to be the final take now. Please help us. Are there any particular signs of potential fire hazard that people often overlook? Are there particular signs?
Any particular fire hazard that people overlook?
Yes.
Yes. O- um, Overlooking, I mean, how like it is, your fire, your fire outlet. When you put so many devices on it, you connect phones, you connect trees, you connect so many things in one outlet. Those are some of the hazards that people actually overlook. Then smoking of cigarettes and then just dumping it anywhere. Those are some of the hazards. Then improper storage of flammable materials and improper improper use of flammable equipment. Those are some of the hazards that people overlook. You carry your petrol keg, you store it inside the house, you carry your gas cylinder, you store it anyhow you like, and it's close to a cooking area. So those are some of the fire hazards that people actually overlook.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ekena. But before we let you go, the Yuletide season is approaching where people do a lot of burning. People try to clear their environment, set so many things on fire, discard unused properties, and probably set them on fire. What's your advice to this set of people before we let you go?
Please, can you come again?
We are getting close to the Christmas season. The Yuletide season is just here. And people usually this period discard unused properties, unwanted properties, and most times set them on fire. What's your advice to this set of people?
As the dry season is coming, I will advise people to check those that have fire extinguishers to check their extinguishers to ensure they are working and to service them if they haven't done that. And if you have a smoke detector, test it to be sure that it is working if you haven't done that. Now, if you desire to have fireworks or a lot of organizations might want to celebrate the festive season, ensure that you have a fire extinguisher close by. Have a fire personnel or someone that knows how to operate it close by. Do not engage in open fire and leave it unattended. Make sure you extinguish it before leaving. This is the season of celebration. This is the season of merry. Let's not get carried away and say it's the end of the year. Thank God we survived. And then at the last minute of the year, is a fire incident that might take away our joy. So, Mark, please get a fire extinguisher. It's not expensive compared to what might be lost. Get a smoke detector indoor if you are traveling. Get a smoke detector so that if a fire happens indoor, your neighbors can hear the alarm and help you. Get a fire blanket. It could help. It could help. And get educated on how about fire. Get educated, get enlightened so that you know what to do. And you can not only save yourself, it's not anybody's portion that fire will burn them, but you might be the angel around to help.
Well, you have heard it all from an expert, Mr. Ikenna Obasi, Chief Superintendent of Fire and Second in Command at the Federal Fire Service at Edo State Command. We appreciate you sincerely for finding time to be with us on the program.
Thank you for having me.